Welcome to the Got Any Cows podcast. If you want to learn all you can about the beef cattle industry, this is the podcast for you. My name is Seth Christensen. My company has sent beef cattle genetics to 45 of the 50 states and 12 countries around the world. I've had the chance to learn from some of the best and brightest in the beef cattle industry, and I invite you to join me for those conversations here on the Got Any Cows podcast. I'm Seth Christensen. We're here with the Got Any Cows podcast, and we're going to try something new today. So historically speaking, every podcast episode we've ever done, there's been at least two people. So it's been a conversation between me and one other person. Today, we're going to try going monologue style, which sounds terrible when I put it that way. But what I'm shooting to do here, what I'm hoping to communicate, I want to talk through this auction and through the lots in this auction as if I was talking to each of you individually. Now, what I've done is I've actually gone through every lot in this auction and I've actually thought through individual people. So there are names sitting on my notes right next to these lot numbers of people that I honestly think would have use for these genetics, of people that I think would be well served by purchasing these genetics in this auction, these specific lots by these specific people. So wanted to fill you in on kind of what we're doing, format-wise, give you a feel for what to expect in the sense that today I am addressing the camera. I'm addressing you, whoever is sitting, driving wherever you're driving, listening right now, sitting at the computer, watching on your phone, whatever it may be, however you consume the Got Any Cows podcast. I'm talking to you today, not to anybody else that's here as a guest. So I'm going to go right through this auction, starting right at the top. I'm going to walk through how to get to the auction, first and foremost. I'm going to walk through, I guess, how to interact best with this podcast and get the most out of this podcast. And then I'm going to go through the individual lots and talk as if I'm talking to those people that I think would be best served by purchasing these. So starting right from the top with the podcast. Obviously, you're listening to the Got Any Cows podcast. I'm glad you found us. I'm glad you've made it this far. I'm glad you're here listening. I appreciate you taking the time. I know there's a million things you could be listening to, so thank you for being here and for joining me. It's kind of a fun concept, being able to talk to the camera. I'm thinking of it as if I had each of you here individually with me, and that I'm going to talk to you and tell you, hey, this is what would happen if you were to purchase these lots. And I'm looking forward to taking that approach and going through this podcast this way. Bonus points for anybody that is watching this episode today. So if you're like me, you might only really listen to your podcast. It might be more so something you do. I use Apple Podcasts is how I listen to most of my podcasts. But if you are watching the video today, bonus points because you're going to get to see the images of the animals in the auction. So rather than just hearing me talk about them, you'll have a chance to see these animals as we kind of walk through these lots and get a real feel for exactly what you'd be getting if you were to purchase these lots in the auction. I want to give you as much information as I can because honestly, I feel like each of these different offerings has a specific person that would be best served by purchasing them. And I want to give you all the information I possibly can so that when you are taking your hard-earned dollar and deciding where to place it as a bid in this auction, that you get the most possible return per dollar spent by getting the genetics and the lots that best suit you and your operation. So bonus points if you're watching the video. These podcasts, if you're listening to just the audio, you're driving along somewhere like what I would be, you can find this podcast on YouTube. Look up Got Any Cows and you'd find us on YouTube. You can also find it directly on our website by going to gotanycows.com. We'll bring you to the Christensen Genetics homepage and you can push the podcast button for that direction at the top of the page there for that link, or you can go directly to the Got Any Cows podcast by going to christensengenetics.com/podcast. So those are some different ways to be able to watch this podcast. If you've only ever listened before, if you have the opportunity to do so, I would invite you to jump on and watch the video and get a feel for what these animals are we're going to offer to you in our September 24th auction. So jumping back in here, I was just having a quick conversation with Jacob, who's constantly educating me on the podcast realm and is the one that makes all of this happen. But he mentioned to me the Overcast and Pocket Cast apps would also be ways of consuming this podcast where you could at least see the images. Even if you were driving, for example, and you're hooked up to Apple CarPlay, you'd be able to see these images we're talking about of these lots in the auction. You'd be able to see those as you drive. So those are actually two platforms I've not personally used before, but if someone said, if your case is that you're used to listening to this podcast while driving and you wanted to at least see which cows we're talking about as we go through these auction lots, you could take a look at Overcast and Pocket Cast as a way to see the images as we run through this podcast. So I wanted to pass along the knowledge as I got it there. I'm learning more about this whole world every day. And so I want to pass that along to you if you'd like to listen and be able to at least see these pictures as we go. So jumping into how to interact with this auction, because obviously before we even get to being able to buy a specific lot in this auction, you need to be able to get to the auction. So a couple of different ways to go about that. The very best option is by going to that Christensen Genetics homepage again that we've talked about, which is gotanycows.com. That's going to take you right to the Christensen Genetics website. You don't have to worry about how to spell Christensen. You don't have to worry about how to spell genetics. Just put in gotanycows.com. Made it as easy for you as we could there. Go to gotanycows.com. That'll put you on the Christensen Genetics homepage. At the bottom of that page, and at the bottom of every page in the website, there's a subscribe form. So you can fill out your information there, and that's going to put you at the front edge of everything Christensen Genetics has to offer, including when episodes of this podcast are released, but also including VIP access to each of our auctions. So what that means is you get the first shot at the auction and the first chance to hit those bids. Only one person can be in at any given price. That means whoever has the first access gets the lowest bid price. Now, obviously, if you get outbid, somebody else is going to purchase that lot at a higher value, but there are always lots that are sold in each of these auctions that honestly trade well below where I would sell them in a private treaty setting. If you're the first in and you get an early bid and no one else outbids you, all of a sudden you've got the lot bought at a better price than anyone else had access to it at. So I'd invite you to subscribe. Go to gotanycows.com, subscribe. You'll get an email as soon as this auction is open, and that'll give you the first shot at these bids. So that's probably your very easiest, your very simplest, gotanycows.com. Watch for the email and then hit the link. Now, if for whatever reason you want a direct access link, the direct access link to this auction is going to be cgauction.givesmart.com. So CG as in Christensen Genetics, auction.givesmart.com is going to put you in a direct link dead ahead, take you right to that auction website. You can view the auction there. You can go through the catalog there. You can see the pictures. You can see the descriptions. You can see the pedigree links. You can see the active price, and you can place your bids all at that same site, cgauction.givesmart.com, if you're looking to access it directly. Or if you go again to that gotanycows.com website, you can either get an email with a link, with the early access link, or once the auction is open to the public, you'll be able to find the link on christensengenetics.com or gotanycows.com. Both will take you to the same place and give you a link to that auction. So that gets you where you need to go. Now, one thing to understand on this auction, it is a horse race style finish. So what that means is a couple different things. We'll generally have these auctions open for about a week. So we'll open this auction roughly on the 17th of September. It will close on the 24th of September at 6 p.m. Mountain. So that's an important time that you want to have logged into your calendar. Go ahead, mark a note. However you go about keeping track of what your days look like, make sure you know that September 24th at 6 p.m. Mountain, so 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, the 24th of September is the day that this auction is going to close. And you want to be there when it does so that you have a chance to bid on all of that, as all that closing bid activity comes in, so that you have a chance to compete for your favorite lots. Smart Auctions is a great platform. It'll text you if you're outbid on any of these given lots, but you want to make sure you're somewhere that you can bid. Make sure you stay connected. Keep watching that close. Quite often, these auctions will take 1 to 2 hours to close. A horse race style finish means that the entire auction will remain open for an additional 5 minutes every time a bid is placed on any lot. So the auction will not close until there's a 5-minute window that passes without any bidding on any lots. So if at 6 p.m. Mountain, a 5-minute interval had passed and there was no bidding on any lots, it'd close right at 6 p.m. Mountain. But generally speaking, what we see is there's some bid activity all throughout that week leading up to the close. It is open for bidding from the moment it's open for viewing, but almost all of the bidding occurs right there at close. So what I don't want to have happen to you, and this has happened before to multiple buyers, multiple bidders, is that they think they have the thing bought because it hit 6 o'clock Mountain on the 24th of September and they had the high bid. But that clock will keep resetting by an additional 5 minutes every time any bid or any lot in the auction gets a bid. So you need to stay there until everything says closed on the auction. Until every lot, it'll have a little banner right across the top right corner that says closed. If it doesn't say closed, the auction is still open. So I want you to be aware that's how this thing is going to close. Be sure to hit the refresh button on a regular basis as you go. There are times that you can have a glitch in your connection. You can have a glitch on just the platform where it looks like the timer's paused, or you might think the thing is closed. Just refresh on a regular basis. Watch that page. I just don't want anyone to miss out on what it is they're looking to get bought right there at close. And honestly, I'd recommend that you bid way before then. Get those bids in early. Get them in on any lots you're interested in. That way, Smart Auctions will text you if you're outbid on any of those lots. So I'd recommend get in early, get the best price, get those notifications, but then be there at close September 24th at 6 p.m. So that's kind of the logistics. That gives you a feel for, I guess, what this podcast is, what the format is. That gives you a feel for what this auction's going to be, what the format is there with a horse race style finish. The platform is Smart Auctions that we're running on. And it'll close September 24th at 6 p.m. So be sure, if you haven't already, make sure you get to gotanycows.com, subscribe there, get a link, go dead ahead to that auction as soon as it opens, and be there September 24th at 6 p.m. when it closes. So I'm going to jump right into this auction, and I'm going to run straight through it with you. And again, I want to talk through these lots as if I'm talking to you as individuals. I have lots listed here on my notebook sitting on my lap, and I have names of people that I know and have dealt with for a long time. So I guess some for a long time and some that are newer clients. But people that I feel like would honestly benefit from purchasing these lots. So I'm going to invite you guys to interact with me a little bit here. As I go through, if it sounds like I'm talking to you about a specific lot, I probably am. So that's by design. That's the intent is I do have actual names next to each of these lots. I'd invite you guys to make use of, in the show notes, there's a text button, a text link. I think it says something like text the show or something along those lines. Right there at the top of the show notes, you can text in and you can communicate directly with me. That'll come right to my phone. Or if you have my number, you're welcome to just text direct. That's 208-589-9988. It's no secret. All the spam bots already have it. So I don't have to worry too much about giving out my number, I guess. It's kind of all over the website and all over all of our advertising. But if you want to hit that text the show, link in the show notes. If you're driving and not in a spot, you can mark down that number. But you can text in if you'd like. Text in any guesses you have as to who am I talking to about these specific lots. Kind of for fun. Interact with me a little here. Humor me a little. We put these shows together every time for you. This time I am talking straight to you. So please, the first things that we do need to mark down here, we need to make sure that we mark down that gotanycows.com. We got to mark down to get subscribed the 24th of September at 6 p.m. for auction close. But between now and then, as you listen to this podcast, when you hear me describing a lot and it sounds like I'm talking to you or to someone hit a text. Send me a text. Who do you think I'm talking to about these specific lots? So humor me. Interact with me a little here. And then the next thing I wanted to mention to you, we are going to be launching a Facebook group for the Got Any Cows podcast and its listeners. I want to interact with you guys just as much as you're willing to interact with me. I'd love to know, we put a lot of time and effort into putting these podcasts together. So honestly, I would love to have you tell me, what do you want out of the podcast? Who are guests you'd love to hear from? What is a subject you'd love to have us cover? What is something about the format of the show you love? What is something about a show that was was distracting, or that you didn't like, or that you felt like was a waste of your time, or didn't provide value, the show is for you. I talk to people all day, every day on the phone. I try to provide value in every conversation I have. This podcast is a conversation between me and usually a guest, but it's meant for all of you who listen to it. So please let me know. And you could let me know in that Facebook group as well. If you have guesses on who I'm talking about in this podcast episode, go ahead and throw them on there on the group. If you have requests for guests, put them on the group. If you have things that you love about the show, please share it with the group. If you have things you'd like to see changed about the show, we probably won't change them unless you tell us. So please tell us in the group, and that's what it's going to be there for. So watch for that Facebook group to come out for the Got Any Cows podcast, and join that as well. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into lot 1 of the auction. And I am really, honestly, genuinely excited about lot 1. So lot 1, quite often we have genetics that everyone wants, but no one has access to. I have had request after request after request for more genetics from this donor. And quite often, frankly, I like the same ones you do. And so I'd love to have more of their genetics in my herd. So we may not offer them quite as often. The lot 1 offering is going to be an aspiration, an IVF aspiration on our JC Ms Rueshaw 121 donor. 121 is an awesome cow. 121 has done north of $200,000 in direct progeny sales. Any way you slice it, that's a valuable cow. We'll cross that $250,000 threshold right here shortly with that cow. Just an incredible female. So obviously very productive, genetics that have been very much in demand. If you take a look at 121 and you know, I almost wanted to say the name here that I'm thinking of, but that's kind of the game. I want you guys to, if it sounds like I'm talking about you, I probably am, or if not, you probably ought to consider buying this lot anyway. But 121, if someone is looking for an exclusivity per se, looking for a way to control some genetics that nobody else has, this is putting you in the driver's seat on one of my very favorite donors. Honestly, I mean, we've got a lot of great cattle here. We really genuinely do. But this cow realistically is one of the top 3. Any way you slice it, any way you sort these cattle, absolutely no way she's outside of the top 4. Top 3, top 4 cows. We've got a lot of cows here. And when people come and visit, we just had a tour in the other day out of Texas. They loved this cow. This was the cow they saw. They said, hey, you know, we want this cow. And it's not at all an uncommon thing that people say, hey, you know, would you sell this cow? This JC Ms Rueshaw 121. This cow has got a really, really neat foundation pedigree. If you look at how she's bred, she is sired by Rueshaw. So her sire would be the 1975 Japanese national champion. Rueshaw semen has sold up to $22,000 for a single straw of semen. I mean, for comparison, there's a lot of semen in the marketplace, most semen in the marketplace. If you're on an average Angus bull, for example, 20 to 50 bucks. Rueshaw has traded at $22,000 for a single straw. JC Ms Rueshaw 121 is a direct daughter of Rueshaw. But not only is she a direct daughter of Rueshaw, if you look at the bottom side of that pedigree, she's going to be a Rueshaw over Hikari, over Judo, over Homare. And so you're looking at a straight foundation pedigree with one of the original imports out of Japan anchoring the pedigree, the Homare female, right in those first couple of generations. So this is a clean foundation pedigree. This is a highly outcrossed pedigree to most of the population. And the beauty of a situation like this, it's not just a pedigree. There are some neat cattle out there that, hey, on paper, it's like, wow, look at this really cool pedigree, but there's nothing special about them in person. 121 is one of those cows that people find every time they visit here. And not only that, not only does 121 look fantastic, but if you look at what her offspring have done, you look, for example, at the heavyweight bull that we're going to take a look at a little closer coming up in the podcast, was our record weaning bull in 2022. thick, stout, powerful. 121 herself has weaned a calf that weaned over 700 pounds at weaning. So we're talking about putting milk into a breed that can honestly lack it at times. So if you're looking to add milk, if you're looking to add growth, if you're looking to add a straight foundation pedigree, if you're looking to add a ton of marketability, I mean, take a look at the picture of this cow. Like wherever you may be, however you may be consuming this show, if you're not on Overcast or Pocket Cast where you can see it, or you're not on YouTube or the Got Any Cows website where you can see it, take the time to look this cow up. 121's a power cow. There's no two ways about it. So if you want cattle that are going to look fantastic, that are going to grow fantastic, that are going to milk fantastic, and that have an incredible pedigree on the bottom side, this is a cow. I mean, there's a reason I don't let a lot of 121s go. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if I had a whole fleet of these and we just kept most all of them. But this is something I've had a lot of call for. I've had a lot of people ask for. I've had people say, hey, I'd love to be in the driver's seat a little bit on this kind of a thing. That's what I'm selling here. So lot 1 is an IVF aspiration on JC Ms Rueshaw 121. So what that looks like. So say you're the winning bidder, okay, which you should be. You want to have the opportunity to be in the driver's seat on this cow, to mate her to the bull of your choice. This cow's a strong embryo producer, is going to make an awesome set of calves for you. You want to be in the driver's seat here. Like, honestly, it's something you want. So say you won the bid. What does it look like? From there, the buyer is responsible for the semen cost and the embryo production cost. So semen, your choice of bulls. I don't care, what bull you want to use, how you want to mate her, what direction you want to take her. That's what's selling, and that's what makes this so unique. This is an incredible cow by any metric, and you get to select the bull that goes over top of her. So if you've got a bull that you think is really one of the next great ones, if you've got a foundation bull that you love, that you'd like to see over top of her, if you've got an expensive unit of semen, if you're sitting on that semen and thinking, man, how am I going to make best use of this highly valuable semen? I need a cow that is worth flushing to semen that costs me a little bit. If you're looking to add performance to your cattle, looking to get a little bit of gainability in there, if you're looking to add milk, you want those cows to milk. I've had some conversations with some individuals about adding milk. This cow's going to get that done. You want to add marketability. I mean, north of $200,000 in direct progeny sales from this cow. She's been a very marketable female for us. And honestly, a lot of the marketing, all the legwork's already done. People know 121. They know who she is. Visitors to the ranch have seen the cow. It puts you in a great position. So if you bought that aspiration, you can send whatever semen you choose. Send it here to Christensen Genetics. And then we will go ahead and make those embryos for you. Production cost on those embryos, as you're running your budgets or making your plan, you're going to be into those embryos $200 a piece in production cost. So that'll be what you'll have as far as total expense is the bid price, whatever it may land at on lot 1 for the right to the IVF aspiration on JC Ms Rueshaw 121. You're going to have your semen cost, whatever it may have cost you, whatever semen you decide to use, and you'll need to send it here to Christensen Genetics. Or better yet, purchase semen in this auction and you won't have to ship it. It's already here. So use whatever semen you choose, whatever semen you'd like. And then you'll pay $200 per embryo produced. Now, we are going to guarantee that you get at least 5 embryos from this IVF aspiration. So if you're looking at risk, I mean, we're taking on the risk for you. You know you're going to get at least 5 embryos. The hope there being, even if you use conventional semen, you should see at least 2 of those develop into pregnancies. And then statistically, you should get at least 1 heifer calf from this IVF aspiration. So if you're able to get a 121 heifer calf for what it costs to own one of these aspirations, historically, these have been the buy of the sale. Honestly, I think this is probably something that maybe there's been a little bit of a lack of understanding as to what is even selling when an IVF aspiration sells. And that's what I'm hoping to clear up here. I want you to know you can buy this aspiration, choose the sire, be guaranteed at least 5 embryos, and there's no cap. So we've had multiple cases with these aspirations selling now. They can produce 12 embryos, 14 embryos, 17 embryos in one case. And these are actual results from people that have bought in these auctions and paid for these aspirations. You're getting 17 embryos in an extreme case at production cost on one of the breed's great cows. Tell me what that's worth. Tell me what that's worth. If you put the math to it, this is a lot that should bring a lot more than what a lot of these IVF aspirations have. If you're trying to find a spot where, hey, how do I best leverage the neat semen I've got, the stuff that I've got squirreled away, how do I make some great stuff that maybe nobody else has? If you're looking to get that done, you want to buy lot 121. You know how good she is. You want to buy the aspiration on this lot. So that's lot 1. Jumping to lot 2. Lot 2, a unique offering here. If you are someone who is looking at, hey, I need a high caliber live cover bull. I just had a conversation with the individual I have in mind for this lot today, talking about needing a high caliber bull and talking about rotating out that old bull they've got in. That the old bull's okay. This bull's exceptional. So you know who you are. I talked to you earlier today about rotating out your old bull and putting in a new one. If you've got a herd of cows that you're looking to improve drastically without having to worry about, well, what if they don't stick to AI? Or what if they don't carry the embryo? What if only the bull breeds them? What happens when the bull is a full brother to our Genesis stud? Genesis is a Rueshaw by Judo by Rueshaw by Akiko bull. We have 2 Genesis bulls. The Genesis bull that we have sold semen on is CGX Genesis 3357L. Semen on Genesis is sold up to $1,100 for a single straw. Been very, very in demand in the marketplace. And you can see why. $1,100 a straw is a buy compared to paying $22,000 for a straw of Rueshaw, $10,000 for a straw of Judo, or trying to access a direct Akiko son. This is an expensive proposition. Looking at what genetics are stacked into this pedigree. So we have the 2 Genesis bulls. 3357 is the bull we've sold semen on. 3344 is his full brother, same pedigree, flush mates, calved, raised here. So CGX Genesis 3344L, what we are selling is a 2-year lease on Genesis. So again, want you to kind of understand what it is we're offering here and why it is you'd want a lease. One of the things that we run into really consistently, especially with anybody that's in the breeding stock world, number 1, not every embryo sticks. Number 2, not every AI sticks. So if animals are going to be bred to a live cover bull, do you want them bred to just any given bull, or do you want them bred to a stud caliber bull? Now, if you do that and then you retain daughters, within 2 years, you have to rotate bulls anyway. So unless you're going to be rotating pastures and keeping track of this bull on that cow, but not this bull on that cow, for most people, they're running a single bull with a set of 20 or 25 cows. And if you're doing that and you've retained daughters from an excellent bull, now you need to rotate the bull in 2 years. So if you've gone and spent a humongous pile of money on a bull, you're kind of out of luck, because at that point you've got to either sell off the daughters, which you may have wanted to retain, or you've got to sell off the bull that you've invested a pile of money into, or you could buy a 2-year lease from Christensen Genetics. This is a novel concept in the marketplace, but it has been really, really popular with our clients. We just started it a year ago, and it has taken off and done extremely well. We've sent a lot of bulls out on 2-year leases, because what happens is now you're only paying for use of the bull for 2 years. So you're paying a significantly lower value than what you would have to if you're going to own the bull outright. In addition to that, we offer free nationwide delivery as part of this service. So you don't have to worry about how am I going to ship the bull in. You don't have to worry about how am I going to sell him when that time comes. You don't have to worry about how am I going to ship this bull out. You don't have to worry about how am I going to come up with all this money for this bull. You don't have to worry about how am I going to rotate out his daughters and keep him separate from them. You don't have to worry about rotating bulls. You just have to buy a 2-year lease on CGX Genesis 3344L Lot 2 in this auction. You want to buy this bull to replace the one you're currently running. You want this caliber of bull, because this kind of genetic package just doesn't come along every day. This is 3 generations of 1976 imports, Rueshaw over Judo over Rueshaw, over one of the original 1996 import cows, or I apologize, 1995 import cows, Akiko. And so looking at all of that, I mean, what an opportunity. What an opportunity to turn out a bull like this on your cows and not have to worry about coming up with the money or how to ship him or how to rotate him. You want to buy this lease. So send me that text if you know who it is I'm talking to here on lot 2 that's looking at rotating your bull, or even if you're somebody else that's in the same situation as the gentleman I talked to today about wanting to rotate out a bull and looking for a really good bull to put across a set of registered Akaushi cows. This lot's for you. This lot's for you. Jumping to lot 3. Lot 3, I had mentioned some folks that were coming in from Texas the other day. We had some visitors here. Really appreciate them taking the time to come in. We've had a series of folks from Texas come. Appreciate them making the trip and then coming through. Fun to sit down to dinner with them and their kids. Really a neat tour, and had a wonderful conversation. Learned a lot from these folks. Very impressed by these folks. And they pointed out, like I'd mentioned, how much they loved the JC Ms Rueshaw 121 cow. Lot 3 is a 2-year lease on her son. So CG Heavyweight 2224. CG Heavyweight 2224 is sired by Dos Equis. So CG Heavyweight 2224 is a polled Akaushi bull. So if you, like this couple that came in out of Texas, if you are looking to take the horns off your cattle, and if you, like this couple out of Texas, love the JC Ms Rueshaw 121 cow, Heavyweight is the perfect bull to have turned out on your cows. Heavyweight himself is polled. Heavyweight himself is extremely heavily muscled, beautiful bull on the move, great mannered bull. And Heavyweight is backed by the JC Ms Rueshaw 121 cow. So you're kind of putting together 3 different things. The reason this bull is called Heavyweight, this is a very aptly named bull. So his sire is the all-time high-selling bull in the polled Akaushi. Brought $111,000 for half interest. So you're looking at a $222,000 valuation on the Dos Equis bull, which would be the sire of Heavyweight. If you look at Rueshaw would be the maternal grandsire of this bull, $22,000 for a single straw of semen. Highest selling Akaushi semen ever recorded is going to be the maternal grandsire of this bull. And then if you look at Heavyweight himself, Heavyweight was our record weaning calf in 2022, across the scales at 646 pounds at 205 days of age without any corn. So a bull that can perform on forage. So again, very aptly named bull. The highest valued polled bull over top of the highest valued full blood bull. Backed by an incredible cow, and then the all-time heaviest weaning calf up to that point in 2022 until he sired the next generation stud Heavy Duty. CGX Heavy Duty 444M is our next generation polled bull, one that we're very, very, very excited about. He set our new all-time record for weaning weight in 2024 at 738 pounds at 7 months of age with no corn on a straight forage diet. This would be a fall calf raised through an Idaho winter, had nothing but hay, mama's milk, water, and Rio Max. That's it. Rio Max just being a tub. It's a lick tub. It's a vitamin and mineral pack and a rumen stimulant. So backing up to Heavy Duty, Heavy Duty is an incredible young bull, and his sire is Heavyweight. So the buyer on lot 3 is going to be able to use CG Heavyweight 2224 for 2 years. You'll get delivery of that bull to your ranch included in the purchase price. You'll get that bull picked up from your ranch included in the purchase price, and you'll get use of a polled bull that is a son of Dos Equis and JC Ms Rueshaw 121 that was our record heavy weaning calf, that has sired our new record heavy weaning calf. These are proven performance genetics, folks. You should be excited about this lot. So whether you are that couple from Texas that came to visit, or whether you're like unto them and you love some polled Rueshaw genetics coming into your herd, buy lot 3, the 2-year lease on CG Heavyweight 2224 polled. Jumping to lot 4, if you are looking for a bred Akaushi female, so we're looking for rate of return here. We're looking for something that is ready to go. We're looking for a female that she herself is mature. We're looking for a female that she herself is bred. You want to take a look at lot 4, have a client out of Arizona that might be very, very interested in this particular lot, that's bought some similar genetics, some quality genetics, some bred females historically. I think you might be interested in this one. If you know who you are, text in, or if you think you know who that is, shoot me a text. 260K is the number of this female, JMK 260K. So this female was bred by my good friends Jim and Kathy Moore down in McGregor, Texas. 260K is a daughter of one of my very favorite cows there. They have a cow there called 079D. Really enjoyed this cow when I was down at Jim and Kathy's place. And so bought this daughter, 260K. 260K is sired by JMK Mr. Rueshaw. So he's going to be a Rueshaw son out of the Brook cow. So going to be a really neat pedigree, both top and bottom here. The only reason this female is going to trade is that she is bred for spring rather than for fall. Most of the cows we calve out here are fall calves. 260K is bred for the spring. So 260K is exposed to CGX Spectrum 3393L. That's going to be a JC Rueshaw 75 son out of the 919 cow, which would be our highest marbling Big Al daughter on actual carcass ultrasound. She's done north of $300,000 in direct progeny sales. Spectrum is a full brother to CGX Atreides 3397L, whose semen is sold up to $2,300 for a single straw, and was our record-selling bull up until just this last auction when that record was broken by the Shoshone bull at $3,200 a straw. So looking at 260K, she's currently exposed, is not yet confirmed pregnant. So I want to make sure that anyone that buys this female understands if she is pregnant at this point in time, she is due to calve March 19th or later. She is still currently exposed to the Spectrum bull. March 19th or later. Any date after March 19th would be when she is due to have a calf. We do have her scheduled for a preg check just after the auction. We can let you know what the results are at that time. But this female sells as exposed to Spectrum to calve March 19th or later of 2026. So whether you're that client in Arizona or whether you're someone like unto him looking for a female that is mature, that is exposed to a neat next generation bull, and is ready to go down the road, she does come with free delivery anywhere in the continental U.S. included. Take a look at lot 4, JMK 260K. Jumping down to lot 5. Lot 5 is going to be a Big Al over 61G Heifer Pregnancy. So a couple different things I want to do here. One, I'm going to walk through what a pregnancy is, because there again, we offer so many things that are so, I guess, unique, so different, so distinct for anyone, even if you are familiar with cattle, but especially if you're new to the industry, want to make sure you understand what you're bidding on here. And then even if once we do understand, I mean, whether you understood before or whether I explain it to you now, once you have a good feel for what this lot is, I want to walk through exactly who'd be the best fit for this kind of an offering. So Big Al over 61G Heifer Pregnancy. So a Heifer Pregnancy, if you won this lot, now lot 5 through lot 11 are all Heifer Pregnancies. We're going to talk specifically about lot 5, but what I'm going to explain about Heifer Pregnancies would apply to lot 5 through lot 11. So a Heifer Pregnancy, what you're going to receive is an Angus cow. Okay, so don't get too thrown off. I'm not talking about sending you an Angus cow that was just bred to an Akiushi bull to have a crossbred calf. The Angus cow I'm sending to you is carrying an Akiushi heifer calf in her belly that has no genetic relationship to her. So that heifer calf in the belly is the product of embryo transfer. So the term that we use in cattle is recipient. The cow you're receiving is a recipient cow or a recip cow. She would function like a surrogate mother, would be the term that I guess people would be more familiar with in human medicine, would be a surrogate mother. So this recipient cow is going to be an Angus cow. I do hand pick these females. These Angus cows that come in are going to come from known sources, known genetic background, known age, known vaccination protocol, known production history, and most importantly, known disposition. I can't tell you how many times I've had people call and say, hey, we got a set of recips from so-and-so, and they are nuts. Like they are bat crap crazy, impossible to handle. And you know what happens if your recip cows are nuts? Number one, you got to handle a cow that's bat crap crazy. But number two, she's going to train your next generation baby, that embryo transfer calf in her belly, even though they're not related. That baby is going to be raised by that bat crap crazy mama. So if you want a bat crap crazy ET calf, go ahead and buy recips that aren't vetted for disposition. When you buy a recip cow here at Christensen Genetics, I have personally sorted them one at a time. one at a time. We didn't send an order buyer to the auction barn to get them. We didn't grab them in a big drag off of who knows what ranch where and say, well, they're healthy. We didn't say, well, you know, they're open and passed some tests, so they're probably good enough. I have personally been in the pen with each of these animals one at a time. So not in a setting where they have the whole group to keep them calm, not in a setting where I'm 200 yards away saying, oh, that looks good enough, not in a setting where we're unloading a semi-load at a time. When we bring them in one at a time, I'm in a 12 by 12 pen, and if they give me any issues, they don't ever enter the program, okay? So this is a huge difference from other recip programs available in the marketplace. If you want the best, hands down, the best recipient cows in the country, you want Christensen Genetics recip cows. You know what you're getting with a Christensen Genetics recip cow. So a lot of value in these females. You're going to know how old she is. You're going to know what her production record is. You're going to know she's good mannered. You're going to know she's calved before. You're going to know she's raised a quality calf. That's what you're getting. That's going to carry these calves. Now, obviously, we're buying a recipient cow. We're buying a surrogate cow. What we're buying her for is to get the heifer calf in her belly. So in the case of lot 5, we're talking about a Big Al by 61G heifer pregnancy. So Big Al being the sire, one of the original imports out of Japan, sired by Daitan Mitsumaru, who never left Japan, and then out of Akiko, who I mentioned before, who's one of the 1995 imports. Or I guess she'd have arrived in 1994. And Big Al was born in 95, but I digress. Big Al by 61G is the mating on this heifer pregnancy. We guarantee that this pregnancy is going to carry through to term. We guarantee that this heifer pregnancy is going to DNA to the parents listed. So you know you're getting a quality cow. You know who the sire is going to be. You know who the dam is going to be. You know it's going to carry through to term. We have DNA verified, or we have verified by ultrasound that these are indeed heifer calves. We guarantee the sex of the calf. So you know what you're going to get. And the beauty of today's marketplace is because commercial cattle are trading at such an extremely high figure, honestly, you can calve these cows out and raise that heifer calf to keep for your herd and sell off the Angus cow and about get all your money back. You're not going to be into that Akiyoshi heifer calf a whole lot of anything. Commercial bred cows today, easily trading at $4,000. If it's a quality bred cow, the kind I'm talking about sending you with these Angus recips we provide, they will trade at $4,000 in today's marketplace, which is wild. You know, historically speaking, it is a crazy number. But the beauty for you is that honestly, if you look at them and you say, hey, I can get these delivered to my doorstep because delivery is included in the bid price, free delivery anywhere in the continental US. If I can get these delivered to my doorstep and I know I can get $4,000 back out as soon as this calf's weaned, really the only money you're spending on that heifer calf is whatever you bid past $4,000, which is an awfully cheap, extremely high quality Akiyoshi heifer calf. The person I have in mind to maybe buy this lot, I've been on the phone with a couple of times, here recently. Actually, a local guy, similar in age to me, looking at building out a new program, looking at an opportunity to maybe pursue agriculture and find a way to make that pencil, to be able to make a living at it. It can be so challenging to do in commodity ag, but it's such a wonderful lifestyle. And so finding a way to not only engage in agriculture, but do it profitably, to be able to make a living at it, support a family on it. Frankly, this is something I've done. I haven't taken a paycheck from anyone else in 15 years. So it's been 15 years. I was 17 years old when I last took a paycheck from anyone else. And so this operation has had to pay its way. So I'm confident saying purchasing things like these heifer pregnancies, like lot 5 all the way through to lot 11, these Akiyoshi heifer pregnancies, this is something a guy could use to build a herd that over time you could make a living with. And I'm not trying to be over the top. I'm not trying to promise something that's unrealistic. I'm saying that this is the best bang for your buck. If you can cash flow between the time you buy these animals and the time you've got that heifer calf entering production, these are the best bang for your buck. This is our number one seller year in, year out, has been for years. And there's a reason why. This is an excellent purchase price. In most cases, you're going to get into these animals very, very reasonable. And you're going to get the best of the best quality in exchange for calving them out and raising them yourself. So Big Al over 61G would be that lot 5. All of these heifer pregnancies are foundation bred, great cows behind them, proven cows behind them. I'd recommend any of them to my friend that I've talked to these last couple of days about building his own herd and finding a way to cost effectively put great cattle on the ground. And I'd recommend them to anyone else in that same situation. So if you're listening, the gentleman I've been chatting with about this kind of an animal, shoot me a text and be sure to bid lot 5 through 11 and be there when it closes out September 24th at 6 p.m. Going to jump down to lot 12. Now that we've talked about lot 5 through 11, lot 12 is specifically a bull pregnancy. Lot 12 is a bull pregnancy carried by a great proven recip. She actually weaned twin embryo transfer heifer calves this last year and bred back early. She is due to calve earlier, significantly earlier than she did last year while she was nursing twin heifer calves. Almost no recips will nurse twins. Almost no recips will move up that far in their calving interval. She's done both. Awesome cow. She's carrying a Samsung by 919 bull pregnancy. 919, like I mentioned, our top marbling on actual carcass ultrasound, daughter of Big Al, $300,000 producer. She's done $300,000 in direct progeny sales. Her son is a Trades, who's our record weaning full blood bull at 732 pounds. 919 is one of the great ones. This is going to be a bull pregnancy out of her side by Samsung. Samsung is a Shigemeru son out of Haruko. So double foundation bred on the top side, bringing the Haruko original import cow right to the front of the pedigree there. This is going to be one of those bull calves that at a minimum has a real shot at being a great herd bull. And in a best case scenario, could be a bull like a Trades that sells semen at $2,300 a straw. So not hard to pay for with a great cow. You got $4,000 worth of cow there right from the get-go. You got free nationwide delivery right from the get-go. $4,000 just in value of the commercial cow. And then anything past that's really what you're spending on this Samsung by 919 bull calf. The buyer I have in mind on this one has bought some bulls from us. And has been using them, an old dairyman, actually. I always say that, most anybody gets into cows and says, this is a lot of work. A dairyman retires from dairying and gets into beef cows. and that's the case. The gentleman, I think that'd be really well served by this bull pregnancy. You've bought some neat bulls. You've got use for another bull coming down the pipeline that you could calve and raise. He'd rotate in nicely behind the bulls you've already purchased. Going to do you a great job, backed by a great cow. You're not going to get hurt on one like this. That'd be lot 12, Samsung by 919 bull pregnancy. Jumping down to lot 13. Lot 13, if you are, I had a gentleman referred to me, actually by my good friend Earl Rowe out of Arkansas. Earl, you're a champion, one of my favorite people. If you haven't met Earl, you ought to. And I had a gentleman reach out to me that Earl referred the other day that was looking for a cost-effective way to get a breeding bull. And if you're looking for a cost-effective way to get a breeding bull, this lot's for you. Lot 13, realistically, is going to trade cheap. You're going to have an option to make a good buy here. This is going to be a yearling bull. Not quite ready for service yet. Our bulls are forage developed, so not going to be real heavy at a year. I'd recommend not using this bull for live cover until spring. I'd develop him through this winter before turning him out onto cows. But this bull calf is a direct son of Big Al, so proven, as proven gets, would be Big Al. $725 a straw to buy semen on the bull. Big Al is going to be one of those that everyone knows, and for good reason. One of the great bulls in the breed, brings a Kiko right to the front of the pedigree, brings Daiten Mitsumaru right to the front of the pedigree, who never left Japan. If you're looking to get a great buy on great genetics, again, with free nationwide delivery included, if you're the gentleman that talked to me at Earl's request, or if you're anyone like him that says, hey, I need an Akushi bull and I am on a budget, this is the lot for you. Lot 13, Big Al by 028H bull calf. Lot 14, gentleman I've dealt with a couple of times already, has been buying some steers from us. Very much appreciate your business, by the way. Very grateful for all those that have bought steers from us. We've sent steers several directions. And there's, even though these cattle are all coming out of our embryo transfer program, there's a lot of money wrapped up in them. There's a lot of genetic quality wrapped up in them. They don't all turn out, plain and simple. There are some of these bulls that don't need to remain bulls. They'll still make a fantastic steer. They'll still put an awesome steak on the plate. but they don't all need to remain bulls. And this bull's textbook that way. This bull's extremely well bred. This is a son of Brady, so double bred Rueshaw on the top side of the pedigree. This is a son of 919, our top marbling Big Al daughter. That's done $300,000 in revenue, produced a Trades, our top weaning bull, who sells $2,300 straw semen. If you're looking for a bull, or a steer, I should say, if you're looking for a steer that you know will put a great steak on the plate, like you want to know, you don't want a half blood steer, you don't want a 3/4 blood steer, you don't want a 7 blood steer, you want a full blood steer, and not just a full blood steer, you want a full blood steer backed by the who's who. You've got Rueshaw over Akiko on the top side of this pedigree. You've got Big Al over Hikari over Shigemaru over Ume on the bottom side of this pedigree. I mean, this is a star-studded pedigree, and this is a steer. If you're looking to make sure that the time and money and feed you've invested into a steer puts an awesome end product on the plate, you want to buy lot 14. This steer comes with free delivery anywhere in the continental United States included. You can know with a steer like this, you know he's bred right. You know where he's coming from. You know how he's been fed. You know that if you dump in all that time, all that feed, all that effort, all that money to finish one, he's gonna finish right. And you can't really put a price on that. I mean, I think it's really easy to say, well, I could just buy something cheap, you know, or I could buy an F1 or an F2, I could buy something cheaper. But is that animal going to turn out like its sire that was Akaushi? Or is it going to turn out like its dam that could be who knows what else? And when you put in the amount of time and effort and money that it takes to finish one of these animals out right, you don't want any surprises at the end. Honestly, the cheap part is buying the calf, right? It takes a lot of corn. It takes a lot of days on feed. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of risk. Why would you waste or risk all that time, feed, corn, money, effort on a maybe this thing is going to turn out fantastic? This bull is bred, or this steer, I'm sorry, I'm used to saying bull because he was a bull. This steer is going to put fantastic steak on the plate with the appropriate feed and time invested. So don't waste your feed, don't waste your time, don't waste your effort, don't waste your money. Don't worry about your friends and family saying, well, this isn't all that great. Buy something you know will finish out fantastic. If you are like my friend that's been buying steers and looking to finish out something fantastic, if you're him or if you're anyone like him, you want to buy lot 14, which would be that Brady by 919 steer calf. Jumping to lot 15. Lot 15 is a set of embryos for the person who has everything. I actually mentioned the person I have in mind here earlier on in the episode. Good friends of mine, great breeders that have some fantastic cattle, have a lot of different really good things. If you're listening to this podcast, and I hope you are, my good friends, this may be something you don't have. I know you guys have got a lot of really awesome, fantastic, neat genetics. Very much appreciate you guys and what you do in your program there. But if you're them, or if you're like them, and you're looking for the person who has everything, what do you get out of this auction? For the person who has everything, what do you buy? You buy lot 15. Lot 15 is going to be some FX14 by D40 Embryos. FX14 would be one of the most expensive bulls to get semen on right now. This semen has been unavailable in the United States until recently. About 10 grand a straw to get into a straw of FX14. He is going to be a direct son of Big Al out of a Hikari by Namiko cow. And so you're bringing Namiko right to the front of the pedigree. FX14 comes to the top of all the charts in the Australian database. So if you're looking for a bull that is an EBV standout in the Australian system, if you're looking for a bull that is rare and valuable, if you're looking for a bull that brings a foundation bloodline like Namiko as close to the front of the pedigree as you can get it, you want FX14. And you know, the beauty of the bottom side of this pedigree is, rather than it being, well, this is a star-studded sire over any given cow, take a look at the bottom side of this pedigree. D40 is a triple bred die 10 female. So 3 shots of die 10 Umemaru who never left Japan. D40 is going to be a Big Al over Hikari over Kunisaki, all 3 of which are die 10 offspring. So you're looking at adding a lot of die 10 to this pedigree. If you wanted to get as close to the die 10 Umemaru bull as you possibly could outside of Japan, this is going to be 5 shots deep. plus Namiko, plus Kunisaki. There's just some really neat things going on here, some really unique things going on here. So for the person that has everything, like my friends I mentioned earlier, or anyone like them, take a look at that lot 16 there, or sorry, 15, lot 15, the FX14 by D40 Embryos. Jumping down to lot 16 are going to be Umemaru by 3423 Embryos. Now, this gentleman has reached out to me and had been talking about a couple of different things. Once I've actually got you on here twice as far as some things you ought to be looking at. But Umemaru by 3423. 3423 is a Master Chef daughter, and not only a Master Chef daughter, but a clean foundation pedigree going right back to Akiko behind that. So if you're looking for Umemaru over Master Chef, that's going to be two of the most valuable bulls in the breed right now. Costs a lot of money, thousands of dollars per straw to get into Umemaru, thousands of dollars per straw to get into Master Chef. Both are hard to get a hold of. These embryos stack one right over top of the other and put Akiko right up close on the bottom side of the pedigree. So if you're looking for a unique cross here and somewhere that, a guy could get a buy on something unique and valuable to add to your program, I've been talking to you here just today. We've been texting about a couple different things. You've got some neat things coming. I'm excited for what you're looking at doing going forward. I think that Genesis lease, that lot 2 ought to go to you. And I think that this lot 16, whether it goes to you or someone like you that really wants something unique, Umemaru over Master Chef Embryos, lot 16. Jumping to lot 17. Lot 17, for the kind of folks that are willing to do things like buy the Shoshone semen, for the kind of people willing to spend the money it takes to get quality, for the kind of people that want the best of the best. They don't want the cheapest, they want the best. That's who this lot is for. Lot 17 is going to be Master Chef over 260K embryos. So the donor dam is actually the lot 4 female that I had described previously, that is going to bring one of my favorite cows from JMK Cattle to the bottom side of the pedigree, as well as Rueshaw and Brooke to the top side of the pedigree. Looking at lot 17, these are Master Chef embryos. So again, one of the most valuable bulls in the breed. A really high performance individual coming in out of Australia, difficult semen to get a hold of. If you want quality and you understand quality and there's nothing more expensive than carrying a calf through to term from embryos and not having it be exactly what you wanted. If you're willing to pay for quality, you're the kind of guy that would buy Shoshone semen, for example. You want to buy lot 17, Master Chef by 260K embryos. Going to lot 18. Lot 18 is going to be JC Rueshaw 75 embryos. JC Rueshaw 75 brought $500,000 for the bull and his semen inventory. Would be the high selling bull in the breed that I am aware of. And even better, the donor dam of these embryos is polled. So JC Rueshaw 75 polled genetics. If you are an individual that's looking to build a new program, looking to build maybe polled Akaushi, maybe somebody coming out of the dairy industry even, maybe somebody looking to add to a pre-existing base that you have of previous black Wagyu genetics or red Wagyu genetics, but looking to add that polled Akaushi genetics. If you want a polled Akaushi package with one of the all-time high-value sires of the breed, also a 2-time Houston Livestock Show champion and direct son of Rueshaw, who sells at $22,000 a straw, you probably want to be taking a look, my friend, at lot 18. If you're someone like the guy I just described, I was thinking of that I really think would benefit from these lot 18 embryos, shoot me a text. I'll tell you more about them. Or if you're anybody like unto him that says, hey, you know what? I'd love a high-value bull like JC75 put over high-value genetics like Polled Akaushi genetics. Lot 18 is the lot for you. Jumping down to lot 19. Lot 19 is going to be the one I have in mind for my good friend that has been buying the good ones. We just talked today as well. If you're somebody that has been selling some real high value genetics maybe and some other breeds, if you're somebody that is gunning for the top, if you're somebody that has experienced success in other breeds, knows how to sell cattle at high values, is willing to spend high value to source the right donors, to source the right bull pregnancies, if you're the kind of individual that wants the best and only the best, you want to be taking a hard look at lot 19. Lot 19 is sired by Virile, Virile is going to be another Australian stud, thousands of dollars per straw to get this stud bought. And he is going to be a Umemaru over Hikari over Namiko. So it'd be a maternal brother to the FX14 bull described earlier. Now the bottom side of this pedigree is really exciting. The 050L donor is going to be a Big Al daughter out of none other than RMW Hoshiko D18. D18 was made famous when she was purchased by my good friend Doug Slaby of Slaby Akushi Ranch for $104,000. Now I've had a bunch of people ask me, was that legit? Was that for real? Like, there's no way an animal's worth that much money. D18 was worth that much money. D18 is a prolific donor, a beautiful cow. I remember the first time I saw this cow was at Justin Stamp's place at Cherokee Akushi in Oklahoma. I remember asking Justin, I said, hey, which of these cows, out of all these neat cows that he had, Justin had spent some good money, put together a great group of donors. You know, which of these cows is the one you have way too many pictures of on your phone? And he said, oh, that's easy, that's D18. You know, we all have that one cow that catches your eye over and over again. And when you're catching the eye of the owner, Justin Stamps in this case, when you're up against a whole series of high-powered, high-value donors, it means something. And when I went out to Cherokee Akushi, to Justin Stamps' place, and saw D18, he was right. The cow's long, powerful, just an impressive individual, fantastic mannered, prolific embryo producer, great pedigree. Just love the D18 cow. She was worth every penny of what Doug paid for her. And, you know, they don't make cows like D18 every day. Even cows with similar pedigrees. You know, I mean, I don't care if it's a sister, if it's her dam, if it's any, you know, how much do each of you look like your sister or your mother or your brother or whatever else? There is a difference among siblings. There is a difference between parents and offspring. D18 is an incredible female. So hats off to Doug for spending what it took to get her bought. This daughter, 050L, is cookie cutter like her mother. So 050L is going to be a Big Al daughter out of D18 that is a donor here at Christensen Genetics, following right in her mother's footsteps. Long-sided female, deep-bodied female, fantastic to look at, incredible mannered. There's no questions. With a bull like Big Al sired our 919 female, who I've mentioned a series of times, has done so much good for our program, has done so much good for the breed at large. You take a bull like Big Al, you put him over a cow like D18, it's a no-miss kind of a cross, and 050L does everything you'd hope she does. Now, these lot 19 embryos are going to put Virile over 050L, and I just love what these embryos could do for a guy. If you're somebody that says, hey, I'm willing to spend the money for the best, here it is, right? This pedigree is anchored by D18, who sold at $104,000. You go to Big Al over top of that. I mean, a cornerstone pillar kind of bull of the breed to make a fantastic donor in 050L. And you take her to Virile. Virile brings Umemaru, Hikari, and Namiko right to the front of the pedigree. Proven performance bull, hard to get, Australian import, thousands of dollars per straw. If you're the kind of guy that says, hey, I want the best you've got, Seth, take a look at these embryos, my friend. I know, you and I have been talking about wanting to build the best there is, about wanting to have the kind of success in red Wagyu that you've had in other related breeds. If that's you, or if that sounds like you, you want to be taking a hard look at lot 19, Virile by 050L embryos. Just a couple more embryo lots, and then we'll jump over to Semen, and we'll wrap up today's podcast. Jumping over to lot 20. Lot 20 is going to be Big Al over GK8 Embryos. Another gentleman that I've talked to, if it wasn't today, it was yesterday. You'd called in, had some questions about your invoice from the last auction. Appreciate your purchase there. I'm sorry that PDF wasn't coming through like we were hoping. I'm glad Courtney was able to get that resolved for you. But if you're looking for some more embryos that you might want to put on the same shipper with those embryos you got last time, or if you just flat want some great genetics, Big Al over GK8. These embryos, again, are going to bring Big Al into the pedigree. Proven genetics on the top side. GK8 is a Naomi maternal line female. triple registered. You can take these to any of the 3 registries: Australian Wagyu, American Akiushi. GK8 is registered in all 3. Big Al is registered in all 3. You can go any direction you want. You can realistically get a pretty good buy on these embryos. These are foundation bred cattle. I've got a flush brother to them in our 2024 calf crop. Beautiful bull calf. Gonna make a breeding bull. One I'm excited about. This is a cross. I know what it's gonna do. Big Al over GK8. Jumping to lot 22, Hikari over 1270Z. 1270Z is the only living Hitomi maternal line female in the entire American Wagyu Association database. And she has no registered sons as of yet in the database. Now that will change. We will produce sons from this cow. If you'd like to do the same, if you think we're not totally up in the night wanting to keep that Hitomi maternal line alive, to explain the value there were only 13 red Wagyu cows or Akiushi cows that ever left Japan. 13 total. Now, you can count them a little different, couple different ways. This one's the dam of that one, or this one came in utero, or this one, but roughly 13 total, period, that ever left Japan. Japan's since declared those cattle a national treasure. You'd have better luck caging and shipping bald eagles than getting fresh Wagyu genetics out of Japan. So if you're looking for something unique, Hitomi would be one of those maternal lines that's pretty well dead to the world. The American Wagyu Association has one living Hitomi maternal line female, and she is CGX Hitomi 1270Z. We took her to Hikari. Hikari would be the sire of Umemaru, as well as a whole fleet of other well-known bulls, one of the original imports straight out of Japan, direct son of Daiten Mitsumaru. If you're somebody, the kind of guy that's looking for a buy. I had a gentleman here, visited the ranch last month, showed me some really impressive carcass pictures. He's made some fantastic buys, has bought some IVF aspirations historically. Really, really a shrewd buyer, has made some good purchases, does an incredible job in his feed program, really puts out some impressive carcasses. And he's really good at getting a great buy on great genetics. If you're that kind of a guy looking for something that's unique, but a guy might slide in and get these bought where other people might not notice them, lot 22 Hikari embryos out of the 1270Z donor. Let's keep that Hitomi maternal line alive and well in the American Wagyu Association database. Lot 24, jump into another lot of embryos here. This lot made me think of my good friend, again, someone that I've told him, hey, you know what? One of the most cost-effective ways to get into quality Akiushi genetics is through embryo transfer. If you've already got a set of cows and they're kind of just cows and you're looking to make those cows generate as much money as you possibly can, take any given cow and put in one of these Akiushi embryos, especially one of these that might trade well under the money. There are times in polled Akiushi genetics that I think people just don't grasp how much value is present here. These embryos, the lot 24 embryos, are going to be polled Hikari embryos out of our polled Queen 88 donor. This same mating has made our PhD 4432 homozygous polled next generation stud. That is the only reason I'm willing to let these go. This is a proven mating. Polled Hikari is the only polled purebred son of Hikari in the entire breed. The only one. There's one polled purebred daughter or son of the original import Hikari, and that is polled Hikari. 88, CG polled Queen 88 is a beautiful donor. My good friend John LaRue that worked for us for the better part of 7 years, this would be his favorite cow on the place, is CG polled Queen 88. My friend who I'm thinking of that might ought to buy these does quite a little bit of trucking for me. And when he was here on one of his visits, he took a look at this cow. I've actually got a picture of you with this cow. So if that's you, shoot me a text. Or if you're anybody that might appreciate something like this, buy this lot anyway. But this lot 24, you might could get a real buy. These are polled purebred Akiushi genetics. You don't have to worry about dehorning. Polled Hikari is going to add a lot of length, a lot of hip, a lot of muscle. These are really attractive cattle. Polled Queen 88, again, a beautiful female. She's backed by the 919 donor who's done 300,000 in progeny sales. top marbling Big Al daughter on actual carcass ultrasound. That makes her a maternal sister to Atreides, our top weaning bull at 732 pounds, who sold semen at 2,300 a straw. This female is a full sister to Davy Crockett, who has sold more semen for our program than any other bull in the history of Christensen genetics. So if you're looking for something that we know what this cross will do, we've got polled gene coming from both sides of this pedigree, so a potential for homozygous polled genetics, a potential to get a great buy, a potential, in this case to, get some great genetics that you might not have to pay a whole lot of money for, whether you're my buddy that does some trucking or just somebody who recognizes value in these polled purebred genetics. Take a look at lot 24, polled Hikari over 88 embryos. Jumping to the last embryo lot I'm going to highlight tonight, we're going to go over to Dos Equis over 2243 embryos. These make me think of a good friend of mine in Nebraska that actually has Davy Crockett as a live cover bull right now. Would be the first to purchase a 2-year lease from us and kind of pilot that program. Appreciate your support of our business. Appreciate you as a friend. You'd reached out about the last auction. You've been a great supporter of the program. Again, a set of embryos that I think might not bring what they're worth, honestly. I think these embryos are worth more than what they might trade at. Dos Equis himself brought $111,000 for half interest. Homozygous polled, thick muscled bull. The dam here, 2243. Get this, 2243, number one, pedigree-wise, is a total outcross. If you're looking at the polled purebred Akiushi population, this female brings a lot of Australian bulls right to the front of the pedigree, brings Katsukari right to the front of the pedigree, who trades at thousands of dollars per straw, brings Kajikari right to the front of the pedigree, a bull you can't even get in the U.S., it'd be an Australia-specific bull. And then she is a polled purebred female. That's why we call her Aussie, is she's bringing all those Aussie genetics right to the front of the pedigree. So if you're looking to bring in Katsukari, Kajikari, polled genetics, and even better, not only is she a cool pedigree, not only is she polled, she's an extreme high marbling female. So anybody that says, oh, the polled cattle probably don't marble, like, come take a look at my hard carcass ultrasound data. Like, I'll show you that polled purebred cattle don't marble. Polled purebred Akiushi, there are absolutely cattle within this population that can and do and will marble at an elite level. This would be one of our absolute, we're talking top 5 total against all the full bloods, against all the purebreds, against all the pedigrees, against anything out there. This is an extreme high marbling female with an extreme outcross pedigree and the polled gene, made it to the highest value polled purebred Akiushi ever sold, who's homozygous polled. These are unique embryos. I honestly think they should bring way more than what they're probably going to, because people think, oh, well, polled purebreds probably don't marble. Well, buy these and prove them wrong. You've got a shot at homozygous polled here. You've got a shot at a great buy here. You've got a shot at some really high marbling polled purebred outcross genetics in lot 27, the Dos Equis over 2243 embryos. So that wraps up our embryo offering. Jumping over to our semen offering, lot 28. I had a gentleman reach out to me that he was looking at, he wanted exclusive genetics. He wanted something new. He wanted something no one else had. He wanted to be the only person with a particular exclusivity, and he'd talked to my good friend Earl Rowe as well, and had been looking at a couple of different crosses, couple of different donors, couple of different things he could do. You know who you are, I think, by this point. I hope you're listening. I hope you are. I don't know exactly how many of the people. I know there's a lot of the people I talk to all day, every day that listen to the podcast. But I know there's people that listen to the podcast that I never talk to. And I know there's people I talk to every day that may or may not ever listen. But I hope you're listening. Whether that's you listening, or if you know who that is, shoot me a text or let me know if you have a guess as to who that is. Or even if you're just someone that sounds like that you want something no one else has. What you want is lot 28. Lot 28 is CGX Krue 4306M. Krue is spelled Krue. Why? Because he is a Katsukari son out of a Rueshaw cow. So this bull is going to put Katsukari on the top side of the pedigree. Katsukari is a Hikari over a Kiko bull, an Australian sire. Costs you thousands of dollars per straw to get this bull bought. here in the U.S. He's expensive to buy. Rueshaw, I've mentioned several times in the episode already, 22 grand is the top price I've seen paid for a straw of Rueshaw. This bull puts the two together. Katsukari over Rueshaw, over Red Star over Gabney Ruby. And so you've got a fantastic bottom side to this pedigree. You've got two really rare bulls right at the front of it. The most unique thing here, no one else has this bull, period. I haven't had a chance to use this bull yet. We're not going to be plugging in more embryos until December. No one else has used this bull yet. I have sold no semen to anyone. This is the first unit of semen offered, the only unit of semen we have scheduled for sale in the immediate future. CGX Krue 4306M, Katsukari over Rueshaw. Be the person who has what no one else has. If you're sitting with a group of donors and you're thinking, well, how do I best leverage these? I don't want to just have what everybody else has. Buy Krue and put them over top of those donors. This is the initial offering, the first unit of semen. This is a single unit of semen, perfect for an IVF application. You want to buy this semen. If you want something exclusive, you want something no one else has, and you want full blood genetics, Katsukari over Rueshaw, Krue, lot 28. Jumping to lot 29, the gentleman I'm thinking of that might want this is another gentleman that loves some exclusive genetics. If you've been willing to pay pretty darn good money for some semen historically in some auctions, if you're someone that says, hey, I'm doing a lot of IVF anyway, and or I'm doing a lot of conventional work anyway, willing to pay even if I need to bring in technicians from a ways away to do some of these different things. You and I have talked before. I appreciate you've recommended my podcast on Facebook to other people before, so thank you for listening. I appreciate your support of our business. Appreciate you. And if this is you that I'm talking about, or you think you know who it is, let me know. But I'd recommend this lot 29. Lot 29 is Duke. Duke is a unique individual. So Duke would be one of the very first bulls in the U.S. Sired by International. So International is going to be a full brother to the dam of the D18 cow I had talked about before. International came in just recently out of Australia. That would have been December of, I want to say that'd be 2022. Yes, because we got the initial release, the very first semen ever released on International came to Christensen Genetics. The first flush done using International semen was done at Christensen Genetics. The first International calves registered in the United States were registered at Christensen Genetics, and that includes this bull, Duke. So Duke, the dam of Duke is 2145F. 2145F was owned at the time by my good friend Susan Skanes. Shout out to Susan if you're listening down there in Texas. Appreciate you and Sean. Wonderful people. If you don't know them, you're missing out. You need to meet Sean and Susan. But I'd worked together with them on the 2145F donor. So she was here at Christensen Genetics. We did one of those initial flushes to International, and that's where Duke came from. The name Duke is actually a nod to my friends Sean and Susan. Susan would always call the 2145F cow Duchess. And where Duke is both the son of International, as in, internationally there are dukes and duchesses, and then his dam is Duchess. Naturally, we had to call the 3402 bull Duke. Once again, this is the initial offering of this bull. No one else has used Duke. I haven't had a chance to use Duke. No one else has had a chance to use Duke. We haven't sold any Duke. There is only one unit selling of Duke. He is not an open bull or open availability bull. If you want something no one else has, this is another bull to take a good hard look at to bring that international genetics to the front, as well as Rueshaw over Umemaru over Akiko, a very clean foundation pedigree on the bottom side of the pedigree in 2145F. Take a look at lot 29, the initial offering, 1 unit of semen, recommended for IVF use from CGX Duke 3402L. Jumping to lot 30. Lot 30, I just had a conversation, this has probably been 2 or 3 days ago, with a good friend of mine out of Missouri, herd manager, for a herd out there that has purchased some donors from us, some semen from us. We were talking about some different matings that we could do, taking a look at their existing donor battery, taking a look at their existing semen inventory, including stuff purchased here and stuff purchased elsewhere. And as I took a look at those donors, there was no Rueshaw or Judo in those pedigrees. The ideal cross here on those females is going to be to Genesis. Genesis, like I talked about earlier in the show, Rueshaw over Judo over Rueshaw over Akiko. Clean, extreme outcross pedigree. 3 shots of 1976 era bulls, followed by a 1995 female. And so you're taking a look at as far outcrossed as you could get for gene pool. Most females are going to have more like Big Al, Shigemaru, Tamamaru, maybe Hikari in their pedigree. A lot less have Rueshaw and Judo. If you're looking to inject Rueshaw and Judo, whether you are my friend in Missouri that I was talking to, or whether you're someone like unto him that's looking for that outcross value, you can get a buy here on Genesis Semen in lot 30. Jumping to lot 31, this one made me think of my good friend out of Ohio that has been such a strength and support to our sales, has come out and visited in person, come out and hunted with my brother-in-law, actually. Came out and did a ranch tour and then went and hunted pheasants, tagged out on pheasants here in Idaho, so job well done there. A sportsman and a friend. I really appreciate your support of our sales and appreciate you and appreciate all you've done for us. This lot would be Star-Lord Semen. Lot 31 is Star-Lord Semen. And the Star-Lord bull is a direct son of Katie Maru. So if you're looking to add something really unique, the Katie Maru female is hands down the best mannered female in the breed. If you're looking to improve docility in cattle, you want Katie Maru genetics. I can walk up to this cow, I can pet her in the pen, and it's not just me. Anyone that visits, I've got pictures of a series of different people visiting this cow, petting Katie Maru in the pen. She's mellow. She's the only living daughter of Daiten Mitsumaru who never left Japan. She's a clone of an original import cow. There's none of those left alive. There's no direct daughters of those hardly left alive. Almost no direct daughters of those left alive. So taking a look at Katie Maru, a female that looks like she does. She's thick, she's stout, she's muscular, she's super mannered, and she is our #1 absolute all-time highest marbling cow on actual carcass ultrasound. So she's great mannered. She's beautiful in the pen. She's beautiful under the hide. She's beautiful on paper. Katie Maru is an incomparable female. I mean, I am not uncomfortable saying that this is the best cow in the breed, is Katie Maru. So taking a look at Katie Maru, her son is Star-Lord, and that is the semen that is offered in lot 31. So whether you're my friend from Ohio that's been supporting us for a long time, or just someone looking to incorporate Katie Maru genetics in your program, take a look at the Star-Lord semen in lot 31. Now, jumping down to lot 36. Lot 36 is going to be Guapo semen. This made me think of a friend of mine out of Virginia that has some beautiful polled cattle out that way. If you're listening, please reach out, say hello. But more importantly, bid on lot 36. Guapo, if I was to say my favorite homozygous polled bull out of our 2023 calf crop, it's Guapo pretty easily. Guapo's thick, he's stout, he's powerful. If you're looking for a muscular bull with an extremely outcross pedigree, the sire of this bull is Myers Cooper 8117F, bred by my friend Aaron Cooper, which is where I got the semen on 8117F. Aaron calls 8117F El Guapo, and so we named CG Guapo 3352 after his sire. And he lives up to his name. He is a good-looking rascal. You want to talk thick, you want to talk stout, you want to talk power, you want to talk muscle, you want to talk mass. If you're looking for an outcross, homozygous polled power bull, it is Guapo, Guapo, or Guapo. Honestly, I mean, putting my money where my mouth is, the bull that I used to sire some next-gen calves in this upcoming calf crop that's going to arrive right here in 2024 is Guapo. Guapo was my top pick. If I wanted a homozygous polled outcross power bull, I went Guapo. If you're someone with polled genetics, or even if you're someone who's not, if you're someone looking for polled genetics and you want something that's going to sire a polled calf every time and give you an outcross pedigree, there's no King David in this pedigree. Love King David, but he's all over in most polled pedigrees. There's none of that here. So if you have King David in your pedigrees, which most do if you have polled cattle, this is a great choice. And even if you don't have any King David in there and you just want to knock the horns off every time with a homozygous polled, stout built outcross bull, you want Guapo. So whether you're my friend in Virginia or just someone like her, reach out and take a hard look at that lot 36. Honestly, I think Guapo was overlooked in the last auction, undersold for what he is. An incredible bull. CG Guapo 3352. I'm going to jump down to lot 39. Lot 39 is Hero, CG Hero 3338. This bull honestly is one I'm excited about and fills a really specific need. The gentleman he makes me think of has actually been on the podcast, recorded an episode with me in Kansas City, and we talked a lot about how he controls costs. Really admire this producer, does a wonderful job at producing quality, but being meticulous in his approach to control those costs. And Hero excites me because this is a cost-effective bull, a bull that has traded historically $55, $60, very, very reasonable to get into this semen. But Hero, in addition to the fact you can get him bought cost-effective, let's take a look at how this bull is bred and then what this bull is himself. So taking a look, let's start with the sire. CG Hero 3338 is sired by Hiramitsu. Hiramitsu is a double-bred Katie Maru bull. Now, you just heard me talking all about Katie Maru and how wonderful she is and how fantastic she is and how highly I think of Katie Maru. So I love that there's 2 shots of Katie Maru on the top side of Hero's pedigree. Hiramitsu himself, jumping again, another shout out to Jim and Kathy Moore. Jim is the one that broke Hiramitsu to show and just mentioned how easy he was to handle, how easy he was to break. Wonderful mannered bull, so carries on that tradition of that Katie Maru docility. And you're going to see that coming through in Hero 3338. So I love that you've got one more story I'll even tell about Hiramitsu. I remember talking to John, and I sent John down to pick up some cattle and go through the cattle down at Heartbrand. And he was looking through the bulls there, and usually, it's my job to know the pedigrees and everything else. It was just John's job to know the cattle specifically. And John was always great that way. Fantastic to look at him with an unbiased eye. And so I told John, hey, I want you to go down there not knowing beforehand the pedigrees because I'm kind of biased. I like this pedigree or I don't like that. Told him, I want you to go down and I want you to look through all these bulls and just tell me which one you like best. So he went through them, and I believe it was with Peyton while Peyton Warmke was there. So shout out to Peyton if you're listening. Went through those bulls and he said, he called me up. I said, so which one did you like best? He said, well, I can't hardly, pronounce his name. He says, they're all good, but the bull he liked best out of the battery of bulls that was there at Heartbrand at that point in time. And this would be while Legendary was running there with Heartbrand. And he said, the bull I liked best out of all those bulls, I can't remember what his name was, but it started with an H and his number was 1090. And I'm like, oh, that'd be Hiramitsu. It would be Hiramitsu 1090D. And he was the pick of the bulls there. John going in with no preconceived notions. Wonderful for Jim and Kathy to break back in the day, and then a fantastic pedigree with 2 shots of Katie Maru. So love the top side of the pedigree, looking at Hiramitsu being the sire of CG Hero 3338. Hiramitsu semen is usually going to be $300 plus to get a hold of. Hero is going to be a cheaper alternative. If you want into those genetics, $55 or $60, CG Hero 3338. And now if you look at the dam of Hero, I love the cow he's backed by, So this is another one of those that it's like, this bull isn't just cheap. This isn't like cheap junk. I don't sell cheap junk. I just don't sell junk, period. I want the cattle to be good. I want you to get your value. If you're my friend that's being meticulous about where you spend your money, but you want the bang for your buck, you want the value. If you're that friend, or if you're someone like that friend, this is that kind of a bull, because the cow behind Hero, CG Hero 3338, is going to be Heartbrand 7662D. So going back around to another time that I was at Heartbrand, I remember being at Heartbrand and going through all the cattle all over the place. Really appreciate JoJo and the team there. They let me take a razor, and I was with Davis, so shout out to Davis Dygert if you're listening. We were out buzzing around all over in Texas, and we're looking at these cows and looking at those cows and looking at everything there. There were a bunch of good ones. There were a bunch I liked, but there was one cow that for me was just hands down above and beyond better than everything else. I mean, it was one of those, I'm looking at everything, and I saw this cow, and I said, who is that? And I remember, chasing her around with that razor, and we happened to get a great cell phone shot. It's still my favorite picture ever. We have a professional shot, and it's good, but the cell phone shot just shows just how good she was, just out in the pasture, even nursing a calf, and even right there up against a bunch of impressive donors. This cow was just gorgeous. 7662D, and that would be the dam of CG Hero 3338. And so I just love that if you take a look at Hero, he's sired by Hiramitsu, who was a top pick out of the whole Heartbrand deal. His dam is 7662D, who was again a top pick out of the whole Heartbrand deal. And then Hero himself is the lightest birth weight ever recorded on any of our studs. Any bull we have semen on, period. Any of them. Out of every bull we've ever collected, this is the lightest birth weight bull. So if somebody calls me and says, hey, I'm kind of on a budget, but I need a bull that's going to calve easy. You know, I need calving ease. I need to be able to use them on heifers. I need a bull that they're going to be good mannered. I need a bull that they're going to be impressive to look at. I need one that's going to sire daughters that I can keep. I'm growing my herd. Like, there's just no question. There is so much value. Like, this is a bull that should trade way higher, but doesn't. 55, 60 bucks is what he's been doing. And man, if you're my buddy that's looking for the buy, or anyone like him, lot 39, CG Hero 3338 semen, take a look. I am going to wrap up with 2 non-Akushi semen lots, and we're going to be there. Thank you if you're still listening at this point. I totally understand if you're not. I have been talking cows for a minute. I mean, even I recognize it's been going on for a while to have it be just me talking, but it's been fun. I feel like I've had all of these different people come in. I'm seeing you when I'm talking to the camera. So it's been a fun experience for me. Let me know if you loved or hated this format in that Facebook group, the Got Any Cows podcast Facebook group, or by, sending in a text through the show notes, or just send me a text direct. Let me know. Loved it, hated it, or anywhere in between. But final 2 lots. Lot 44, SAV quarterback semen. Quarterback, as far as proven performance bulls, still going to be one of the absolute best in the breed, and he's a 2017 model bull. Shoff bred, so you're going to get that performance, you're going to get that look, you've got that proven EPD performance, in addition to just the history of the Shoff program, the desirability of those genetics. Got fantastic cows in the pedigree, fantastic bull, proven sires, done. I mean, just a ridiculous list of things. If you are a fellow consignor here on Smart Auctions who makes a living selling semen and does a good job of it and trades a lot of this Shoff type semen, appreciate your purchase in our last auction. Shout out to you. You know who you are. Or if you're anyone like unto that person who just really loves high performance Shoff genetics, they don't make them any better than lot 44 SAV quarterback 7933. Proven performance stud. And the last lot I'm going to highlight, lot 56. This has probably been the buy of the sale on several occasions. I've had people ask me, why do I even let semen go that cheap? Like, well, I don't need all of it. I mean, we've got thousands of units of semen on a whole fleet of bulls, and I can't use all of it myself. Lot 56 is CG Victorious 0093. The gentleman I thought of to buy this semen actually lives in Hawaii and has purchased semen from us on several occasions. Really appreciate your support of our program. Love how these calves have turned out for you from Victorious. You mentioned to me after using him, the only regret was that you didn't use more. Well, here's your chance. Keep picking up some more. It has traded dirt cheap in a lot of these sales, and just fantastic genetics. I remember using, let's take a look at the pedigree and then the bull himself and then his offspring, and we'll close out right there. Victorious is sired by TH Victor 719T. Victor is going to be a staple, a mainstay in the Gen X catalog for years as far as a proven polled Hereford bull that you knew calve easy. The bull was live covering cows at 13 years old, talking to Prairie and Ryan Top up there in Gray City, North Dakota. Shout out to you guys if you happen to listen. I appreciate it. And even if not, appreciate you guys taking the time to show me through the cattle there. Victor, if you're looking for proven longevity, proven performance, proven calving ease, he's got you covered. That's the sire of CG Victorious 0093, whose semen sells as lot 56. The dam of Victorious is going to be the C88X. Notice me, 1315 ET female, a full sister to the $600,000 Miles McKee. And I remember looking for years for a good Hereford donor. I mean, I looked everywhere trying to find a cow. All I wanted was a cow that could make the best baldies possible. When I brought in Hereford genetics, it was all about the female. We wanted cows that were going to be deep, wide, strong top, perfect uddered, perfect footed, lasted a long time, productive. And I looked all over the country trying to find that cow. And you know what? I found her in my backyard. Right here in Bruno, Idaho, is Collier Herefords. I remember going through those cattle with Kyle, and every one of the females that really stood out to me was either a sister to 1315, meaning they'd be an 88X daughter, ribeye 88X daughter, or they were a sister to Miles McKee, just like 1315. I remember seeing her at that point, or they were a daughter of Miles McKee. All of my favorite females, deep-bodied, bold-sprung, really impressive females, tight-ribbed, perfect uddered. And 1315 was a proven productive cow, came through their sale that fall where I bought her. Awesome cow. Looking at Victorious himself, beautiful bull. You can see in the picture, really impressive. Actually headed out to live cover cows in Louisiana for the next 2 years on a live cover lease. But we've got Semen available. Should be a great buy in lot 56. We used this bull side by side with 2 Angus bulls from major stud companies in a large commercial heifer AI project. The favorite calves out of 2 Major League AI stud Angus bulls and Victorious were the Victorious calves, hands down, for that owner. We breed about 240 heifers a year for Stu Walmsley. We've done an episode with Stu. Stu's favorite calves were the Victorious calves up against a couple of big-time AI stud bulls, Angus bulls. So if you're looking to make fantastic baldy females, whether you live in Hawaii or not, lot 56 is the lot for you. And without further ado, I am going to kind of wrap her up here. Be sure to go to gotanycows.com, subscribe. You'll get updates on the auction. You'll get updates on the podcast. Please be at your computer September 24th at 6 p.m. Block out an hour or two for that close. Buy the lots that best suit you. If you think you know who I was talking about in this sale, reach out to me however you see fit. And please join our Facebook group for the Got Any Cows podcast to let me know what you thought of this podcast format for the auction overview. Let me know things you love about the podcast. Let me know what's frustrating you about the podcast. Let me know what you want added, what you want tweaked or changed. We'll update anything. We're open to ideas on how we go about everything, from how we set up our cameras to who we have on, to where we film, to what kind of content you want, what kind of content you don't want, things you love, things you hate. I want to hear it all. Please join that Facebook group. Please go to gotanycows.com and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the Got Any Cows podcast. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Got Any Cows podcast. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcasts, and visit us anytime at gotanycows.com.